Okay, I'm outside here and I just made a wood spirit log, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around and I'm going to make a tabletop on top. So to give you an idea about what you can do with the chainsaw and a couple of hand tools, I don't know how clear this is, zooming in, but we're going to do this project, and I have to make two because I have somebody that ordered two. So, okay people, welcome. What I'm going to do is we're going to carve this log. We're going to use the chainsaw and we're going to make one of those faces, alright? Big face on a log here. So I'm going to explain what I'm going to do first, since you won't be able to hear me over the chainsaw. And then I'll make the cuts. Alright, so the first part of doing one of these big wood spirit faces log is to know your dimensions. Alright, this is about a 25-inch log. Alright, I'm going to put the face from about here to about down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the chainsaw out and I'm going to cut this out and shave all the bark off so I know my working area, and then we'll get a crayon and we'll put a face on it, and I'll go step by step for you guys. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm pretty far away from the camera so I can fit this in. So I'm just going to start my saw and we'll make the first couple cuts and see if you guys can see it. I'll try and zoom in on the log itself, okay, before I start, so I can get my mask on and everything. So here, if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys, you should be able to see the cuts I'm going to make. Okay, move this down a little. And I just have the log, the weight of the log itself is actually holding the table up. The table is actually holding the log up, but it's not screwed in or anything. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back around, start the saw, and have at it. First couple cuts, like I said, I'm going to make a point at the top, and then we'll just take some bark off here so we can see what we're doing. So here we go. Mind what I'm going to take off. Okay, so right there, you have the first couple stages of doing a big log like this as far as the face goes on it. Let's zoom in here. Okay. And all I did was make a place to put the face. That's about as big as I want the face, right? Kind of made it to a point at the top, and then I came from the center and went over into the cuts that I first initiated in the beginning. Alright, so before you start anything, you want to have a carvable surface. So you got to get that bark off, and you got to have a place to put your face. And that's going to be the first part in this video series. And you can use a regular chainsaw for this. I do have a carving bar on my saw. I use a steel, right? But you can use any chainsaw. And we'll cover carving bars and carving chains, stuff like that later. But for right now, I've done a lot of these with just a regular chainsaw, but be careful for kickback, stuff like that. Okay, we have our log faced off here. Now it's time to get a little bit of lumber crayon, and we'll draw some guidelines to make our face. Right? First thing we're going to do is start with a brow line. About a third of the way down the log. And we're going to put a line going straight across just like that. I'm going to make a makeshift nose. We're going to make him very basic in the beginning, okay? So it's easy for you guys to learn. We'll start by cutting straight across here and then coming in on the side, cutting under with the chainsaw under the nose, and we're going to come in from the sides, okay, like this. We're going to take that out and use the tip of the saw to shape it up, right? I'm going to stay nice and zoomed in. Hopefully you guys will be able to see everything I'm doing. And we'll just go from there. But we'll take it a piece at a time and get in real close for you. I'll try to stay out of the way. It's going to be tough though. So, experiment. Let's see what happens, okay? Here we go. Start up the saw. Thing is straight across. Like that. Hold your saw horizontal. A nice deep cut just like that. And down on the side of one line, and down on the side of the saw out. Not so hard, right? Now we're going from the side. Right. That out. Right to the nose. So those are the first couple of steps to starting our face. And we'll see if we can zoom in here. Draw the mustache on this guy. I'm keeping it zoomed in. All we're going to do is get an idea about where we want to mustache with our crayon, so this guy will bring mustache to about there. You want to have room for everything else. His beard, a lip. I give him a mustache like that, and then put a bottom lip in there too. Might be a little hard to see. Back up over there, little Josh. You know, right. But show you that son. It's pretty easy, pretty much like the nose. Right over your outline. Now, a lot of that is just using the tip or the side. Look out, Joshua. The edge of your saw there. And you just shave, alright? But it's the same thing when we're using a knife. Like when we're using a knife, I should say. Alright? And you start shaping everything out. The idea is to get the wood underneath it lower than what you want to stick out. Okay? And you can't see too much right now. In the light, I'll check the video and see how it goes. Now the sun goes in, I can see in the camera. You should be able to see that pretty good. Now I'm going to draw a lip. We're going to cut that out, and then we're going to start adding some beard here. It really doesn't take too long, you'll notice, when you start doing this. And you'll be able to see, as we go, just how fast you can really do one of these. Okay, let me get the saw started again, and try to stay out of the way, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to come down underneath the mustache and form a little bit of a lip. I won't even have to draw this one. ready to get carving. And see how he's starting to shape already now? So he's not going to take much. And we'll get the grinders out, and I'll show you some other tools you can use to smooth that out, and we can start putting some more hair and stuff on him. Okay, I'll see you in the next. Okay, the next tool we're going to use is going to be a 4.5-inch grinder with a sanding pad on it, and this wheel that I'm using, this grit sandpaper, is about 25 to 30 grit. It's very, very coarse. I mean, you could shape with this thing, right? What I'm going to do is get the carving once over and smooth everything together, get some of the rough cuts out. Can even put some lines in with this if I want, right? So I'm pretty much just going to have at it and let you guys kind of watch. I'm going to smooth the nose down, smooth the cheeks down, get a lot of that rough stuff out of there, okay? And go over the whole carving. Now, it is a dusty job, but you can see how that works, right? Really tends to smooth that carving over well, right? Everything's blended together, and you'll see it a lot better when we start putting detail on it, okay? But again, that's a 4.5-inch grinder with a sanding pad on it. You can get them pretty cheap at a lot of places. And look around, and I'll explain some of the tools that we use as we go today. Okay. What I do at this point is I usually get my crayon, my lumber marker, and I draw a set of eyelids. And I'm going to show you guys a tool that I use to put them in when I chainsaw carve. You can use a regular chisel if you don't have one of these. If you want one of these, you can get them on Amazon, eBay, okay? And what it is it's a little mini chisel, and it's made from Proxxon, okay? Let me adjust my camera here for a sec. Okay, it's made from Proxxon, and it's the MSG, and it's an electric chisel, basically, right? Now I have a V tool in here, right, and that's going to make a V cut, and it's going to put a groove, pretty much, basically, for the eyelids. So what I'm going to do is carve them out, and hopefully you can see in the camera. I'm just going to run along those two lines that I drew with my lumber crayon, and we'll give them some eyelids quick. That's all there is to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some mustache lines. I can usually draw them in, right? I'm not really going to draw them in. I'm just going to use the chisel and chisel them in. And I'll do some eyebrows with it to give you guys an idea of that too. We're keeping it pretty crude and pretty simple for you guys. Not getting real fancy with this one, but he'll end up looking nice. Along the bottom, what I'm going to do is go straight across from those lines that I just made. I'm going to go straight across like this and connect. Try and keep them fairly symmetrical. And we'll connect the eyes that way. Again, using the same tool. Okay. And for eyebrows, I'll put some up here. Little fuzzy there. Clean up a little. Couple lines in the forehead. Give it that. And then some mustache lines. So over here. And then I'll do some bags under the eyes. Clean up around his mustache here and his mouth. And that's pretty much how we end up getting some detail on them. Alright? You don't have to go all out. You could do the same thing with a V-tool. Okay? And when I go around with the chainsaw more later to add more hair, I'm even going to take this tool and go up through the beard lines to give it a little more detail, but I won't waste film doing that. I'll just show you guys afterwards. And now it's time to get some pupils on him and a little more detail with this tool in his beard. And we'll figure out what we're going to do next. So remember the Proxxon, I'll show you the tool again. It's the Proxxon mini grinder. Mini grinder. The Proxxon electric chisel is basically what it is, alright? It's the MSG and it's the power carver is what they call it, I believe. Okay? Nice little tool. If you don't have that, get a mallet out and a big V tool, or even a little flex cut V tool. But this saves a lot of time. Okay. Okay, we're setting up on the eyes here. What I'm going to do is not even round them off that much. We're going to see how they look just the way he is, because we're going to put a stain on them, and these are meant to look at from a distance. So I'm going to get a big round gouge, one big enough for the pupils, and I'm going to put it right up into those eyes. Let me just get my chisel and my hammer. And we're going to try and offset it just a little bit. We're going to put it about like this. Round cut. Nice big chip there. Make sure it's underneath this eyelid here. Okay, it goes up into that eyelid. Same on this side. Put a knot right there. Always when you want to do an eye, there's a knot. Like always. Make sure you twist that around and keep that circle nice and sharp. And we'll pop those out later. We're going to take our knife and pop it out if we can. This one's got a knot. Let's put a little more cut on that. Chip it up. Big knot right where that eye is, of course. Hit that one again. Knots always make it tough. Look at them from a distance. Yeah, we'll be able to fix them up. Not too bad. So now we'll round off the eyeball just a little bit up under that lid. Might have to get a different one. We'll get rid of this one. A little bit of adjusting now, he'll look good. Okay. Got our eyes in. Let's see how he looks. Doesn't look too bad. He could use a little more hair around the side. We could do that with the chainsaw, and I could leave him just like that. If we want to put hair around the side, we get the chainsaw back out and dig the face in a little more. So let's try a little bit of that. See if we can't dress him up even a little more. So it's been sitting for a while now. And that ought to do it. And we'll zoom in on these fuzzies. Let me show you here so I can move it. See in between? You have a lot of this stuff that you just can't get out. Well, that's what we use the torch for. Okay? It's just a basic propane torch. Let me see if I can adjust the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the torch and I'm going to burn, and then we sand most of the burn off or use a wire brush, and that's how we take care of that. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to flip my lens around so I can see where I am. Right, it's just a basic propane torch. See? That's all it is. And you just burn in the cracks of the beard. That's it. Helps to dry out the wood too. That's exactly what it does. So if this was green, it would dry it out. Also use it to give color to your carving, okay? So all the detail come out. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll go and I'll get a little sander and I'll sand a lot of that charcoal stuff off. Let me give you the effect here. Hold on. I'll show you when we zoom in here. See how that gave that beard all that texture and his eyebrows, and I'll go and I'll sand what I don't want off, and I'll show you the end result after I do that. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Once you have your face carved, if it didn't come out right and it's choppy and it's got fuzzies all over it or whatever, you can burn it off, add your color to your carving with the torch, and after that sand it off and he looks good. And we'll show you that once I'm done sanding it. I'm not going to show you the sanding here, but when we make the whole thing, we'll go through the whole process. Just wanted to show you that one that's already done. So, okay, I'll be back with the end result. Okay. What I did was I grabbed a little bit more lines here with that chisel that I was telling you about, the Proxon, okay, the electric chisel. Took that and used the power carver to make a little more mustache lines, put a burn on the beard with the torch, okay, just use the torch. Did his eyebrows some, and did the hair. I got the sander again and I took off the hair, alright, after I made that chainsaw cut. I'm gonna work his eyes a little bit more, but he's pretty much ready to go. We're gonna put a little stain on him, and you have your first wood carving. I'll see you in the next video series. We'll try and do an owl. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Number 1 down.